My name is Milad Tangshir. I'm the director of Anywhere, Anytime, which is in the Open Horizon and Next Generation sections here at Thessaloniki International Film Festival.
Okay, good. So, first question, a bit biographical one. How does one come from Iran shooting movies in Italy? Can you walk me a bit in this path?
Yeah, I come from Iran, as you said. Should I look at you or at
The camera, please.
Yeah. I come from Iran, and in Iran I was a musician. We had a progressive metal band in Iran, and we had 3 albums. But it was not possible to continue in Iran to do that kind of music, and so I decided to come to Italy to follow my other dream since childhood, which was cinema. I grew up with my father, who is a great cinephile, and I had the opportunity to watch many masterpieces of Western film noir, Italian neorealism, also films from Teo Angelopoulos that changed my life. And so, I came to Italy to pursue that dream, and I studied cinema there, and I started to make short films, and my first experiences in cinema.
Okay, good. And since you mentioned music, I feel that music is very important in this film. You have this quick jazz when you start, and in the ending various other tracks. Tell me a bit about your approach towards music.
It is jazz from Senegal and Ethiopia, late 60s, early 70s, and it has this jazzy sound which is familiar for the Western audiences, but at the same time it has the color and the sounds of Africa. So it's a music that at the same time it's near and far away. My idea was to mix this kind of music with Italian streets to create a sense of alienation for the viewer, to take away the familiarity of those streets for who watches the film, and also take away the familiarity from stories about immigrants that many times fall into cliché and rhetoric,
And why did you decide to shoot a film about immigrants?
It was in 2018 that I got interested in this phenomenon of riders, the people who deliver food with bicycle in Italy. And, at least in Italy, most of them are immigrants, that maybe do not talk the language. And so it's a kind of work that it's without the sense of identity and individuality. So for a whole summer, I went with a Senegalese young guy to do all the deliveries and all the waitings in the streets and the restaurants. So I really got interested in that, and right away I understood the importance of the bicycle for them, that it could change life for some of them. And inevitably I thought about the masterpiece of Vittorio De Sica, The Bicycle Thieves, but I did not want to make a pure remake or just to make a cinephile operation. I don't think anybody in his right or her right mind could approach a timeless classic. My idea was to use that film, to use that important piece of Italian culture to reflect on now and where I find myself and how I feel about it, that yes, 75 years after that movie, a bicycle can still change life, but let's look at who are these new bicycle thieves of our streets,
And how is the situation with the immigrants nowadays in the area?
Not so good. I mean, in Italy, like some other parts of the world and Europe, there's a right-wing government, now and in place, and so they have harsh politics, regarding the immigrants. Especially, I think it's about the identity, and for example, in the film, the whole situation and drama happens because this guy finds himself without identity, without the residency permit, a piece of paper that lets you live and work illegally. But without that, you're pushed in the zone of shadows, and you have to struggle, and nothing good can come out of it. So it's not a very good situation there because their presence and their identity is denied. So it's a very uphill struggle for many immigrants in Italy and in Europe.
And the place that you show that they are staying for the night, those containers, are they outside of the city?
They are in the city, in the outskirts, in the periphery of the city, and those containers are only place that someone without the residency permit, without the document, can sleep. That's the only option they got. So it's just a container bare with nothing inside it almost, except a bed that you have to check in every night and check out every morning. So it's a very temporary condition for them.
And this thing with the stealing of the bicycles, does it happen? Is it common or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I come from documentary filmmaking. This is my first fiction film, and so I have this terror and I have this obsession with the research, and especially if you are approaching these kind of themes, so more than 90% of the film that you saw, I saw it with my own eyes or somebody told me. So I have to construct a world that is plausible and real. So yeah, exactly. So even the number of the buses that are exactly the one that I heard and they told me. So it is a thing that happens. Yeah, sleeping on the bus.
And how did you find the transition from documentary to fiction? Was it difficult? Or?
Not so much. I mean, because the subject matter and the style that I chose, it's suitable to do that transition. But I have to say, I worked with the crew and with the troupe that, they had all more experience than me regarding the fiction film. But, so if I had to just push them a little bit, so it means they are used to work in controlled situations, you know what I mean? But I wanted, to bring them to find the humility and the right size to be in the streets, you know what I mean? So yeah, I have to just push the crew a little bit towards what I think I could do and, be a part of the street, not just everything controlled, yeah.
And tell me about the protagonist. Where did you find this guy? Is he an athlete or something? He's really muscular.
No, it's his first experience in front of the camera, and he works in a restaurant in Torino. And for 2 years I went through the associations that are working with immigrants, the dormitories, and the immigrant projects. And so through them I met one by one more than 200 guys looking for my character, and Ibrahim Sambu is one of them that I think has done a marvelous job in the film. He's almost present in every shot, so all the film is on his shoulders, and I think he's done a good job. And he also came to Italy as a lone minor immigrant in Italy, coming all that disastrous route of Libya and Mediterranean, which is the deadliest border on the planet. So he has many common points with the character. So we just established a very long and transparent dialogue about his biography, and so we created a map of his emotions and his memories, which we used to create the character. So I mean, I wasn't looking for the right actor, I wasn't looking for the right person, and I knew the story, what is going to happen, but beside that, the film was at the service of Ibrahim and not Ibrahim at the service of the film.
And you have many scenes with him running. Was that from the beginning or after you met him did you decide?
No, it was, it was kind of from the beginning, walking and running, as you say, because I'm interested really in the concept of wandering, just going through. And I also think that there is a spatial dimension to the story, you know what I mean, to the story of the people. When you see a vulnerable person now, there has been a process in time and a space that has brought him there, you know what I mean, to that condition of vulnerability now. And I think the space is the metropolis, is the city. So I was interested in just going through in the city with him, just running and walking with him in that space.
And tell me a bit about this violent scene close to the end when he finds the thieves. It's very realistic, so I was wondering how did you manage to shoot it?
Yeah, also they are all non-actors, and we just try to explain the situation to them and be real about them and make them aware of what they're trying to portray, even as bad people, let's say, or violent people. But it's just we try to make them understand it's about the commitment to the truth. It's not about good and bad people. It's about the situation that we all shared, and nobody is only culpable about it. Everybody, we are in this together, and we are just trying to reflect the truth. So I'm happy that they got the idea and they just helped me to reflect what I'm feeling around me in the most authentic way.
How many shots did it take to get that scene?
In that scene, you mean? You know, I have to say that they were even more violent in the rehearsals. I have to
Really?
say. And you know, the producers came from Rome in Turin where we were shooting that scene, and they were, you know, afraid and shocked of what was going to happen, you know, take and after take. So no, I think we got not more than 5 and 6 takes, because on every take they tear apart his shirt, and we didn't have more than 5 or 6 t-shirts. So I mean, we had to stop at a certain point. But yeah, we got like 5-6 takes of that.
Well, was that the most difficult scene, you think?
That was one of the most difficult scenes, but also I think the scene that he robs the bicycle. It was about it was just one shot. It's without any cuts, you know. So it was about the choreography and the timing of when he takes the bicycle, when the owner of bicycles comes out and runs after him, when they arrive to the intersection, when the camera has to stand. So it was just also that one was an interesting one based on the choreography. Yeah.
Do you have a scene that is your favorite from the movie? One
You
that
know, I don't know, but I think there is a shot that when he loses his bicycle, he comes back, walks and sits on the sidewalk, very sad. I think when we were shooting that, when I was looking at the monitor, I felt we have something really emotional and important in that shot. I think that was one shot that stayed with me. Yeah.
And you also show, like, if that friend of his wouldn't be there, his situation would be even worse. So I was wondering, is that the case with those immigrants? They usually stick by each other?
Absolutely. I mean, as I told, I met more than 200 guys to try to find him, and I have to say, if I have to choose just one word describing their condition, is the solitude. You know what I mean? They lead very lonely lives, and sometimes, yeah, it's a privilege if they have a friend or somebody that they shared the journey with. You know what I mean? So yeah, he has a friend called Mario, which is a name that he has adopted to make it easier to integrate with the Italians, or maybe just make it easier for Italians. You know what I mean? So yeah, he has this friend that they have gone through the Libya and the Mediterranean together, but unfortunately he has to make a horrible decision at the end about the betrayal. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And so, does the actor now would like to pursue acting after this movie, the protagonist?
You know, yeah, he would love to, but I mean, we didn't. He's very intelligent, and we didn't want to sell him any dreams. You know what I mean? If there are any other offers, he would love to consider it. But for now, he has just gone back to the restaurant where he's working. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But the film screened in Busan, right?
Yeah, we premiered in Venice, and then at Toronto, and then at Busan, and now we are here in Thessaloniki.
So how is in general the reception of the audience?
It was very good. It was very good, and it was interesting to show it in Toronto and Busan, especially because to see the reactions of the audience, which is culturally different. You know, that was really interesting for me to see it with non-Italian audience and how they react to the story, and it was really good, both of them, and it gives me hope maybe the film can dialogue with different cultures. And so I think, you know, the story of a man who wants to survive, of a poor man who wants to survive, is a story of anywhere, anytime. You know what I mean? So the film can happen in a unknown city in Belgium or in France or in Vietnam. You know what I mean? It's just a struggle for survival. You know.
And tell me a bit about the cinematography, what you wanted to do in the visual aspect of the film, let's say.
Yeah, you know, sometimes we are used to see, you know, these portraits of misery and poor people, you know, just like a handheld camera, and, you know, just as if this guy is so poor that does not even, you know, deserve a tripod, you know what I mean? But I don't share that. I think how you stay with him, how you walk with him is important. I thought that this kind of visual can give him dignity to the story and to him, you know what I mean? I don't think that a film about a poor man or woman should be poor visually, you know? So I was interested in also in long takes, you know what I mean? Without any cuts, just to bring the filmic time close or equal to the real time in the real life, you know. So when 20 seconds in this shot is exactly 20 seconds in real life, just to show how much it needs to change a life. If you're leading that kind of vulnerable life, it really needs so little, a little wind that just collapses all the your balance of life. So it was visually I was using all this one shots and the Steadicam shots and also long takes and also just to elaborate a sense of time. You know what I mean?
And regarding the editing, let's just say what you wanted to do with the pace of the film. Sometimes the running dictates it, I guess, but in general.
Yeah. As I told you, it's for me, cinema is not only about the plot and the story. For me, cinema is also about how you manage space and time. So also the film recounts only 3 days. It's a weekend. You know what I mean? As I told you, just to say how little it needs to collapse everything, to make collapse everything. So also the editing exactly was the pace like that, and many scenes were just shot in 1 or 2 shots. You know what I mean? So it was not about so much reimagining it in the editing. It was very much established while we were shooting it. But of course, in the editing also we tried to find the right pace and just to reflect that idea.
And in general, okay, this is maybe a question for us critics, but would you consider your film more Iranian or Italian, European, would you say?
I don't know really, because I'm just in that limbo, I think, space, because I will never be an Italian filmmaker, and I'm not an Iranian filmmaker. Yes, I am Iranian because I come from Iran, but I have not made any films in Iran. I did not do cinema in Iran. I do not take part in that Iranian cinema wave, which is very strong, and it's very difficult for them who are doing it in the country for many reasons. So I am not a member of that Iranian filmmaker society, and I will not be an Italian filmmaker. So I think I have just to be, in that in-between zone. You know what I mean? I came to Italy as an immigrant when I was 27 years old. So I think I have many sensibilities of an Iranian, but I don't know if it's a conscious thing or no.
And in general, how is it the situation of shooting movies in Italy? How would you describe it?
It's for art house movies and independent film, it's not easy. I put 6 years to make this film, and I'm not the only case. So it's not that easy. Just having the film made is the biggest miracle that can happen to you. And also we have a right-wing government now that just 1 month or 2 months ago have just modified the laws about the tax credit and about the government financial funds of cinemas, so which is really drastic for independent film and for art house film. So I'm really worried. Me and many others are really worried that if we can make another film, which can be able to tell us stories, because that kind of thing also is a direct intervention on freedom of speech and what stories can be told and what cannot be told. So it's not an easy moment. It's a very worrisome moment for Italian cinema industry.
But as a person, do you experience racism in the area that you are?
I've been lucky to come to Italy, as a student, so I have not gone through many direct and harsh forms of racism in that ambient, but it's inevitable. Yes, I have, before coming to Italy, racism was a term that I had only heard, or seen in movies. You know what I mean? It's a really think about others, a phenomenon that happens some other parts of the world that I really don't know, but I can imagine. But it's about also the subtle things, It's about small things. It's not about somebody, whipping you with the whip, but it's little things that make you think about it. Yeah, of course I have felt it, but it comes in different forms,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question, I guess, future projects. What are you working after?
Yeah, I have working on some things. I'm still interested, in that zone of that tension between Italian. What is Italian? What is somebody that came there after? What is non-Italian person? And the tension between that. Maybe for the next project, I would like to put myself on the part of an Italian in a story like that. But as I told you, I'm really worried, and I'm not sure that if I can have the privilege to make another film with what is happening in Italy. So who knows? I really hope that I can make another one.
Fiction or documentary?
Fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's it. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.